All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping headfirst into one of the most intense trials you'll ever hear about. We're going to frame this whole thing like a high-stakes, five-act drama, all about sacrifice and ultimately inheritance.
So let's kick things off with these words right here, and they're from Isaac himself. Can you believe it? He's 37 years old when he says this, and, he has no idea he's basically setting the stage for a challenge of cosmic proportions.
Okay, first up, the accuser's gambit. Our story doesn't even start on Earth. Nope, we're heading up to the heavens, where this whole divine trial is about to get cooked up.
And this is where the conflict really sparks to life. You've got Satan, who also goes by Machpelah, stepping up and making this huge accusation against Abraham. The claim? That ever since Isaac was born, Abraham has totally forgotten about God. He says, look, it's been 37 years, not a single sacrifice. He's forsaken you.
So, what's the solution? Well, the accuser throws down the ultimate gauntlet. He challenges God, saying, you want to see where his loyalty really lies? Tell him to offer up Isaac as a burnt offering. I mean, talk about a high-stakes test, asking for the one thing he loves more than anything.
Next section, trial by raging water. So, the command is given. Abraham and Isaac set off on their journey. But of course, it's not going to be that easy. A supernatural adversary is waiting for them.
So, the first move is all about manipulation. Satan tries to play mind games. First, he shows up as an old man, trying to convince Abraham he's lost his mind. When that doesn't work, he tries a different tactic, appearing as a young man to plant seeds of doubt in Isaac. But check this out. Both of them see right through it. They just rebuke him and keep on going.
Okay, so when words fail, what's next? The obstacle gets physical, and I mean really physical. Satan literally transforms into this raging torrent of water, a massive supernatural barrier just to block their path. The water starts rising all the way up to their necks. It's an all-out attempt to just drown them and stop this thing cold. But Abraham's faith? It doesn't even flicker. He just straight up rebukes the entity, and boom! Just as suddenly as it appeared, the water is gone. Vanished. The ground is dry again. The trial isn't over yet.
All right, Act 3, the willing sacrifice. They've made it. They're at the mountain. This is it, you guys, the climax, the absolute peak of this whole test.
Now, this is where things get really intense. Isaac, he knows exactly what's about to happen, and his resolve is just unbelievable. He doesn't just accept his fate, he's an active participant. He tells his father, bind me and bind me securely. He's worried he might flinch and mess up the offering. Just incredible.
And then, in this absolutely heart-wrenching moment, his last thoughts are of his mother, Sarah. He fully accepts that this is the end for him. It's just wow.
So you have this incredible paradox playing out. I mean, think about it. Tears are streaming down their faces. The eye weeps bitterly, but inside their hearts are rejoicing because they're fulfilling God's command. This is the state they're in as Abraham raises the knife.
But this trial, it had devastating consequences. The cost of this test didn't just stay on the mountain. It rippled outward, and it reached Sarah with absolutely tragic speed.
And check out the cruel efficiency of Satan's final move. First, he goes to Sarah and lies, telling her Isaac is dead. She, of course, completely breaks down in grief. And then he immediately tells her the truth, that Isaac is alive. But that shock, that emotional whiplash from despair to what's described as an exceedingly violent joy, it's just too much. It's fatal.
So the test on the mountain might be over, but the price was paid right there in Hebron. The price was the life of the matriarch Sarah.
And that brings us to our final act, inheritance paid in silver. So Abraham returns, he's mourning Sarah, and he needs to find a final resting place for her. And this becomes the final act of this whole incredible trial.
So what's the tangible outcome here? Well, it's measured in silver, 400 shekels to be exact. Abraham insists, he absolutely insists on paying the full price to Ephron the Hittite for a burial cave. No gifts. It's all weighed out, all witnessed. Yet he completely refuses to take it as a gift. Instead, he creates a permanent legal record, a book of the purchase. And this is so important because it's not just about buying a grave. This is the very first piece of the promised inheritance, secured by a legal purchase.
And what's so wild is that this final act, this moment of commerce and mourning, is actually recorded as the 10th trial. It's the final test that confirms it all. Abraham was found faithful and patient in spirit.
And that leaves us with this final, heavy question to think about. When a trial is designed to prove faithfulness, what's the real measure of its cost? I mean, yeah, faith was affirmed, an inheritance was secured, but it came at the price of a son's innocence and a mother's life. Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.